What's going on, YouTube world? This, as always, is your guy, Sealz the Man. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for watching my videos. I must say, to start off, I just want to say that I was away for a little bit. Took a little break from social media. Took a little break from here on YouTube. I needed a break. I needed a mental break. Outside of this channel, I have a lot of things going on. I run multiple businesses. I'm still dealing with things mentally and spiritually that I need to work on, that I'm working on in order to become the best version of myself, to become a better man. And I just got to be transparent with y'all, you know what I'm saying? Because I am nowhere near a perfect man. I never will be. But my goal is to become the best version of myself that I possibly can, that God has laid out for me to be. And that's my goal every single day. And in order to be, get to that goal, sometimes I just have to take a break. I'm a pretty deep introvert. I can be an extrovert at times, but more likely than not, I'm gonna be in my introvert zone. I love being at home. I love being to myself. And yeah, it kind of took over me this month. This month has been a little stressful. And hopefully I'm not bogging you down with that, but I just want to be honest with y'all, like I'm always am. And in today's video, I just want to talk about, in relation to this, how to deal with your guy, your man, your husband, your boyfriend, the person you're dating, how to deal with them when they are stressed, when they are under a lot of pressure, when they're not feeling their best, right? It could be a very difficult time having a lover and things aren't going right with him, because when things aren't going right with him, it usually and always really affects both of y'all as a union. So I think this is an important video to talk about, and it's almost like a therapy to myself too, because I'm going through this currently right now. So pray for me, and let's get to it. And before I get into it, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, tell me what you think. Tell me if you've ever been in a situation where your guy is just, really difficult to handle, or you didn't know what to do, and what did you do? And let's just talk about it, all right? So let's get started. The first thing I want to say is, first things first, there is no one-fit-all answer when it comes to dealing with a man who is going through it. And anyone who is telling you otherwise is not being fully transparent. There is no one-fit-all answer, because every single man is individually unique to himself. There might be a general thing where you say, oh, a lot of men do this, or a lot of men believe this. But when it comes to your guy, your guy is unlike any other guy on this planet. When it comes to the details, when it comes to living with this person, when it comes to being with this person, it's a totally different situation from any other man. Your man is your man, and he is different from the next man. All right, so let's get that out the way. Another thing I want y'all to consider and remember is that just because it makes sense to you does not mean it will make sense for him. Just because something feels like common sense to you does not mean it's the perfect solution for him and what he's going through. Because just like he's unique and different, you are too. Therefore, your mind, your thought process, your thought process on solutions, on how to get through things, may not affect him the same way it affects you, because you have your own thing. You are your own equation. He's a totally different thing. So we got to remember that your answers aren't always going to be other people's answers, specifically when it comes to your guy. This is also important to realize, because I've seen situations, I've been in relationships where, and I've done this myself. I'll be honest here, I've done this myself, where I would criticize my partner, my lady, because I felt like it was common sense and that she should do a certain thing because it makes sense to me. I'm like, bro, 1 + 1 is 2. Why are you confusing the answer? This is it. What I didn't realize, what I didn't consider, was her feelings, her situation. I've never been in her shoes. I've never been in her situation. I've never rode her storm. And I only know what I see and what she tells me. You never truly know what someone is going through, the storm they're going through. So when it comes to y'all, just remember that everyone's storm is different, and how they are able to internalize things and handle situations are totally different from yours. You gotta also remember that a lot of people put on fronts. A lot of people have these egos that they put on this fake face, this fake front, acting like they're okay when they're not. While others may show their emotions on their sleeve. They may show how they really feel. And now they're being considered sensitive by a lot of people. Everyone handles their storm totally different. So once again, just because something works for you does not mean it's going to work for him. For an example, you might think it makes sense to leave your guy alone. If he's going through it, right? He's going through it and it's showing, and you see it, and it's obvious, and it's really heavy, it's really tense. You might think it makes sense to I'm gonna just leave him alone, he'll be all right. I'm gonna just give him some air because I can't take this. It's just too much for me. You may be doing the total opposite of what your man needs. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people do need space when they're going through it. Some people do need some kind of distance away from everybody and everything when they're going through it. But that does not mean your man needs that. We have to identify what your man needs based on who he is. You might think like, oh, if I give him space, he'll be all right. Is that truly what he needs though? Just because it makes sense to you because you will want space if you were going through it does not mean that is what he needs. Some men do need to hear your words because you are that important. Some men do need to hear your affirmations and your positivity and your cheering because you are that important. You're supposed to be the most important person in his life. Therefore, anything you say, anything you do will be held against his heart and his spirit. You like that? Cop talk. So anything you say is uber important. Some people need to hear that. Some men need to hear what you have to say and what you think. So please remember, sometimes your sense does not make sense for your man. All right. The next thing I want to suggest and give to y'all is that you need to identify and remember what makes him tick. And you should become his talk, right? Tick tock, tick tock. That is the rhythmic sound of a clock. That is how you know a clock works. Without the tick or without the talk, there is no clock. No, I didn't mean to rhyme. I do that a lot of my videos. It just happened that way, right? Sounds good. But you need to identify his tick and become his talk. So what do I mean by that? You need to become his balance. When things are in balance, when he's on the heavy side or the light side of the scale, you need to become his balance. We gotta level this playing field out. We gotta level this situation out. You gotta become your man's balance. But you can only do that when you know what makes him tick. Who is your man? What does he like? What does he dislike? What is he interested in? What does he believe in? Does he have faith? What are his issues? What does he struggle with? What is his personality? What is his DNA? Now, because this is your man, you have a greater chance of knowing these things more than other people, besides his therapist or his mom, son, but you have the greatest chance of knowing these things. Use that. Use that knowledge that you have on your man and become his balance. Becomes the thing that levels him out. Otherwise, if you don't, if you become his imbalance or you strengthen his imbalance, things only get worse. Things don't get better. And that leads me to my next thing that I want to talk about. Never fight fire with a man who is going through his storm. So in this case, never match his energy. Because you got to remember what stress does to people. And you know this because everyone has gone through stress some point in their life. Stress makes you a person that you are not. It shows a side of you that can be dark, can be problematic, can be violent, can be sick. Stress causes damage. And when a lot of people are going through stress, they show sides of them. They show things about themselves that most times they don't mean to show. Sometimes they create problems for other people, especially the ones closest to themselves. And in this case, that would be you, that they don't mean to do. But stress can do that to a lot of people. So you got to remember to not take things personally when your man is going through it. when he's going through the storm. Do not fight fire with his fire, because in most cases he is not trying to do that. But this is a byproduct and an effect of going through it, right? As long as he is not abusing you, hitting you verbally or physically, then remember this. Pettiness is not a solution for this. Pettiness is never a solution for this. Saying like, oh, you want to act funny? Oh, you want to be distant? Oh, I'm going to be funnier and I'm going to be even more distant. That is not what he needs right now. He needs your help. And yes, we know a lot of men struggle with expressing themselves and expressing their problems, but you got to be aware of that. You got to be aware of your man's tendencies if he has those issues. One of the best things, one of the best traits of having a woman, having a good woman, is that she is my home of homes. She is my safe place. I can come to her when things are getting out of control, just wild on this earth. I have a physical human partner that I can confide in, that can bounce me out, that can help me, that can give me confidence, the words that I need to hear. When you have that, you have a gift. So imagine coming home or coming to someone who is supposed to be your woman or your man, and they are trying to match your negative energy. Nothing's going to get solved, and it's just going to damage your relationship as a whole. As the saying goes, never stoop down to someone who is below you or is treating you like you are trash. But when it comes to your partner, your man, and they are going through it, never do that. It only makes things worse. Another thing I suggest for you, and this is directly to you women out there, is to take time to yourself. You have to take time to yourself, especially if your man is a very difficult person to be around when he's going through things. If someone is going through something, it's not just about them, right? Even though they are the focus in order to get them into a better place, but it is about you as well, because y'all are in a union. Y'all are in a relationship. Y'all are in a marriage. So you are the other side of the equation. So you have to take time to yourself. If you realize that things are a little too difficult, or he's being too difficult, or he's being too rough, or he's being distant, or he's being real snappy at the mouth, or his attitude is too hot for you at the time, take your time and take time to yourself, because you cannot help anyone else if you are messed up yourself. And I know this personally. I used to be the dude who, when I was immature and didn't know how to express myself, I used to be that dude who was very difficult to deal with when I was going through things, because I didn't know how to express myself. And I felt bad afterwards, to my lady at the time, because I'm just like, man, why did I act like that to her? She was trying to help me, and I was just angry, or she wasn't saying or doing the things that I need to hear. That is so immature, man. But you got to remember what stress does to a lot of people, men and women. It does things to them that makes them do things that they shouldn't be doing, that they usually have to apologize for, that they do not mean to do, right? There got to be some kind of consideration when it comes to that. But as long as they're not making it abusive or damaging or anything like that, but this is why you have to take time to yourself. You got to breathe. You got to step away sometimes to figure out, all right, how I'm trying to help him isn't working. So I need to figure out something else. Let me take a step back, because if I'm trying to figure out a plan while I'm in this firestorm with him, I'm going to get mad. I don't need that, right? You don't need that. It's one of the worst places and times to try to create a plan is when you're actually in the game, when you're going through stress, when you're going through the problems with your significant other, because once again, you're maybe trying to match his energy or match his negative energy, and you don't know how to respond to his negative energy. And now it's just a whole bunch of negative energy, just a big old ball of negative energy. And now y'all both negative, and there's no positivity in the equation. None whatsoever. Sometimes you have to step back. You have to take a break. You have to get advice from someone. You have to pray on it. You have to do these things to reconfigure the situation and what you could do on your part. And that leads me to my last topic. And my last suggestion is to get help, seek help, or ask for guidance from an external factor. Whether that be you pray on it, Pray to God on it and try to clear your mind and your spirit in order to gain the right solution for you too. Or whether you ask the elders in your family who have a successful marriage or relationship, or ask the elders who've been through things in your community or your circle, and ask them what they did when they went through hard times in their relationships. Ask the woman, because you're a woman, ask the woman, the wife, what did she do? How did she handle situations when her man was going through it? When he was stressed, when he was going through the storm? What did you do? And for those who believe in therapy, ask your therapist, what is the best solution? What can I do? What can be a healthy solution to helping my man out, right? Sometimes it's best to ask an external factor who's either been through it, succeeded in it, and has experience on it. Oh, I forgot, that is not the last thing I'm gonna suggest. This is the last thing I'm gonna suggest and talk about as something you should know. And you have to be totally, brutally honest with this thing I'm going to talk about. And that is, you need to identify, recognize the emotional intelligence and emotional maturity of your man. Take that information and move accordingly to that. Because let's be honest, a lot of y'all men out there are not mature. They are not emotionally mature. They are not emotionally intelligent. Some are, some aren't. But if he is not, do not treat him as if he is. For this one, you got to listen to your brain and not just your heart, because this will help you understand the best route to help your man. Because imagine trying to help your not emotionally intelligent man with emotionally intelligent solutions. It's not going to work. He's not going to get it. It's not compatible. You have to match his emotional intelligence with your solution, with the route you're going to take with this. Once again, you got to know your guy and be totally honest with who he is. So I hope this video helps y'all out there, because these days are rough, man. It's always something going on in the world. And you know, your man could be going through a lot of things without you knowing it. Internally, he could be telling you. Externally, you probably do know these things, but life is hard sometimes, you know? And hopefully these things can help you be there for your man on a deeper level and help him, you know? Because when you help him, you help yourself, and he will do the same to you if he's a man of goodwill. All right, so thank you for coming back, and I will see y'all in my next video. All right, I pray for you, you pray for me, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and blessings. Goodbye.